Hello my friends, and welcome to this little educational video all about sun salutations. I'm really glad you're here, as that means that you are super interested to deepen your knowledge and further your understanding of this beautiful practice that we are sharing together. Sun salutations, or Surya Namaskar in Sanskrit, which is the ancient language used in yoga, literally translates to saluting the sun. Fancy that. So there are many different variations and combinations of sun salutations, but for today we're going to look at Sun A, as this is the most common and basic variation of sun salutations, and it uses the most kind of fundamental and foundational postures. This particular practice is thousands and thousands of years old and was traditionally used as a way to honor and revere the sun in the morning as a kind of ritual. It was also used to maintain the health and the longevity of the physical body, increasing strength, stamina, and flexibility. In modern day yoga, sun salutations are usually found at the beginning of a power, vinyasa, or some kind of flow class. It's a beautiful way to warm up the entire body and to prepare the body for perhaps a deeper flow or a series of deeper stretches and poses. It's a nice way also to drop into the present moment, to get the blood and breath flowing around the body, and to shift the mind into more of a meditative or focused state. Within your home practice, you can choose to do as many rounds of your sun salutations as you like. There is no right or wrong, no minimum, no maximum. So this is the beautiful thing. If you are new to yoga and you're starting to build some familiarity with the poses and building up your strength, learning to flow and breathe with your movement, you could start by doing 1 or 2 or 3 rounds of your sun sals. If you are more comfortable with the sequence and you're looking for a little bit of a workout or maybe to get a little bit of a sweat on, you might start to build up to 10 or 20, 50, or maybe even 108 rounds of sun salutations. This is the magic number. The other nice thing is that you can choose your pace. So obviously if you're being guided by a teacher or you're in a class, you are going to receive instructions at with a certain timing and certain cues. But as you start to learn about your body and your breath, you're going to really be able to drop into this rhythm and this natural flow of movement that works for you. And that might differ from day to day depending on how you're feeling. You might choose to move nice and slowly, taking long, relaxing, deep breaths, or you might decide you want to boost your energy and have a little bit more of an uplifting effect, in which case you might move at a faster pace. So let's take a look at the postures. So our first pose in the sequence is Tadasana or Samastitihi. These are the Sanskrit names. The English name is simply equal standing pose. So you're going to stand with your feet either together or slightly apart, maybe hip width distance, whatever's comfortable for you. And this is a posture that is meant to be really strong, quite grounded, and also very expansive. So rather than just standing kind of floppy and loose, we want to think about activating and engaging the whole body right from the toes, the insteps or the arches of the feet, all the way up through the shins, the knees, the quad muscles, the thighs. The pelvis is nice and neutral, so we're not tipping forwards or backwards. The core, there's an awareness in the core. Your ribs are in, shoulders are rolled back, arms out by your sides, palms are wide, fingers spread. And then you're tucking that chin slightly in towards your throat so the back of your neck can be nice and long. And then you're really just feeling the ground underneath your feet and allowing the energy to flow up through the body and out through the top of your head. Your eye gaze is set straight ahead. So this is our first pose. Next we move to mountain pose, and to do that all you're doing is raising the arms above the head. You can raise them out to the side or out to the front. This is another beautiful thing about sun salutations, is you can get quite expressive and quite creative. You don't have to move like a robot within these kind of boxes or rigid rules. So we raise the arms up first. The next posture we arrive in is a forward fold. So there's many options here as well, depending on what your body needs. You can have something in front of you to rest the hands on, like a block or a cushion or even a chair. And you can also bend the knees. A lot of people think that you have to lock the knees out, touch your toes, straighten your legs. This is not the case at all, okay? So for your forward fold, you want to let the head and the neck be nice and relaxed. Bend the knees as much as you need to so that you have a nice feeling of ease and freedom through the back of your body, your back and your hamstrings. And you're just simply relaxing your body weight forwards, like so. The next pose is a halfway lift, or Ardha Uttanasana. So this forward fold here is Uttanasana, and the next pose is Ardha Uttanasana, Ardha meaning half. So for this, there's two ways again. You can either slide your hands to your shins, press your hands to your shins, and press your shins back into your hands as you form a nice long flat back here. The chest reaches forward and the shoulder blades really draw back and down. Again, the chin stays tucked in, so you have this long line from tailbone out through the top of your head. If you have a little more flexibility in the hamstrings, you might like to do your halfway lift with the fingertips down on the mat too. So really shining that chest and heart forwards. The next pose in our sequence is a high plank. So you're stepping back from here and your hands are on the ground, obviously, hands underneath your shoulders. If a high plank is a little too much to start with, always recommend starting down on your knees. Otherwise, you're up on the toes. We move from our high plank through what is called chaturanga. Now this, I would say, when you're starting out, is the trickiest piece in these sun salutations, as it involves a lot of shoulder, chest and upper body strength essentially. So this is one that can take a lot of time and a lot of practice to really nail in a way that is safe for your body. So the way this is executed is basically lowering the chest down in between the hands. This is another reason why I recommend starting on the knees as opposed to the toes, as it just allows you to have a little more control over this movement to begin with. So chaturanga is simply allowing the elbows to hinge back, staying nice and close into the rib cage and the side body as I lower my chest down to the floor. So I arrive with my hands either side of my chest and my toes are released behind me. The next pose in the sequence is Cobra pose, or Bhujangasana. And this is simply a lift of the chest, a rolling back of the shoulders, and really engaging the legs, pressing down into the floor with those feet and those thighs, and also pressing the pelvis into the floor. You might see a lot of the time people really overdoing this pose, like this, locking out the arms, jamming into the lower back, losing the neck. This is not what we want. This is not helpful to you at all. So it's nice to start small, aware, and strong. Just down here, little back bend. Beautiful. So from your cobra pose, then we find downward facing dog. So you've probably heard this one before. And it's the same thing. You have lots of nice awareness in the hands, gripping the ground with the fingertips. So we're not dumping lots of weight through those wrists. You can check out my How to Downward Dog video if you like as well. That will go through a nice breakdown of this pose. So again, knees can stay bent, tailbone to the sky, nice long spine. And then basically from your down dog, we make our way back through the same poses. So it's kind of tricky because it's not really 12 poses because we repeat some of the same ones. So from your downward dog, you would make your way back to the front of the mat, feet together or feet hip width. And we come back to that halfway lift, the Ardha Uttanasana, however you choose to do it. Then we return to Uttanasana, the forward fold. From there, we rise back up through mountain, arms are raised, and we return back to our starting point, our home in Tadasana. So there you go. That is a very brief breakdown of the poses in Sun Salutation A. You can practice your Sun Salutation A with me. I have a video on this platform. It is called 12 Rounds of Sun Salutation A, where we flow through 12 rounds together with breath. So give that a go, see how you get on, and let me know.